He was an absolute freak athlete, the freakiest athlete I think I've ever seen in my life. But the last couple years of his career has just been a LeBron James parade. Yeah, I thought this was pretty obvious that the Lakers were going to be bad defensively. Again, I picked them in the first round because I underestimated the Timberwolves, not that I overestimated the Lakers. And, I got comments like this. DJ, I love you, but this is just a bad take. The Lakers have a top 5 defense since the Luka trade. And you are pushing a narrative that they can't defend a toddler. Not to mention, this game is after LeBron James came back from an injury. The Lakers shouldn't have been a favorite to win because they lost to a young Bulls team with Josh Giddey just having a great night, almost getting a quadruple-double. One game doesn't define the Lakers. This is called excuse making. And this is, a top 5 defense says who? What are we looking at? Box plus minus adjusted defensive whatever advanced stat you're talking about. This is why we got to throw advanced stats out the window. If you watch the Lakers play basketball, even once this season, they were not a top 5 defense. You're lying. The advanced stats are lying. I don't care what anybody says. I know you said they were a top 5 defense since the Luka trade. Lie. Even if the advanced stats say it, that's a lie. Anybody that watched it knew that that's not true. And so I say, nah, watch them play. They can't defend a toddler. And he says, stats would say otherwise. Bro, I just told you to watch the game. I just told you why advanced stats do not tell the whole story. And if you watch the game with just come to the conclusion with your 2 eyes, you can see that they're bad defensively. You come back with stats would say otherwise. That's exactly my point. That's literally 100% my point. But anyway, the Lakers need to rebuild around Luka Doncic. I don't know if LeBron James is going to retire or not. I don't think, like, LeBron talking about possibly retiring is probably going to render his trade value completely at a zero. There was one other. You don't know what you're talking about. 7 games in 10 days, followed by a 4-game road trip where LeBron returns and isn't right yet. All right, but is he right now? You said yourself the Bulls and Magic are hot. They were. The Lakers are tired and injuries have made it hard for them to gel. No, they just don't have a good enough defensive roster. Before the dreaded March schedule of back-to-back-to-back games, they were the best defense in basketball. Oh, my God. Here we go again, man. Dude, they lost 3 in a row. You need to chill out. They're just rusty after 2 games. They had the best defense since the... Yo. What's up with this best defense in the NBA talk? That's just absolute nonsense. Sure, if you take 3 or 4 games against bad teams where the other teams had bad shooting nights or something, you could say, over the past 3 games... This is why you guys need to stop watching ESPN, man. This is why you guys need to stop watching stuff like that, because you could take 3 games like that. You could just say, over the past 3 games, the Lakers have the best defense in the history of the world. Even if those teams had injuries and were playing a bunch of G Leaguers and they shot 0%. You can't take cherry-picked stats and run with it like that. You know what I'm saying, man? But anyway, yeah, that's... I thought the Lakers were terrible defensively before the Luka trade. I thought they would get even worse defensively after the Luka trade. And I picked them to beat the Timberwolves. I underestimated the Timberwolves' depth. I mean, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, of course, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert having 25 and 25 rebounds. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be a tough team. And if Anthony Edwards comes out of it and goes on a heater, you know, they're winning games like this with Anthony Edwards putting up 15 points. Yeah, they can be tough in the West, man. So LeBron James comments on retiring. He was like, I'm going to talk it over with my family, and we're going to come to the decision. I think you could see the retirement of LeBron James this offseason. First of all, LeBron James eliminated in 5 games or less in his last 3 playoff series. In his last 14 playoff games, he's 2-12. And I've loved LeBron James' career. I watched him in high school. I watched him when I was in high school, and he was in high school playing for St. Vincent St. Mary's on ESPN. He was a freak. And you're never going to see a 6'8", 240-pound grown man high school basketball player that can jump from the foul line. And you're never going to see this again. You're not going to see what LeBron James did in high school ever again. You're not going to see what LeBron James did in the first couple years of his NBA career ever again. He's the youngest player to ever have a 40-point triple-double and a game winner in the same game. He's also the oldest player to ever have a 40-point triple-double. There's just so many things about LeBron James that you are never, ever going to see again. Go watch his high school dunk contest. He threw the ball off the fucking shot clock, and his head was above the rim. He was an absolute freak athlete. The freakiest athlete I think I've ever seen in my life. But the last couple years of his career has just been a LeBron James parade. And I've been saying this, and I'm not saying you should retire at a certain age. I'm saying the last couple of years, they haven't built teams with LeBron James with the intention of winning basketball games. The last couple years has just been a LeBron James parade, And LeBron James has been in control of franchises and being the GM on the floor and all of these things. And then the whole damn maybe JJ Redick as a head coach because it was LeBron's friend. I don't know yet because I'm not going to write off JJ Redick after 1 year. But the nail in the coffin of this LeBron James parade was the forcing Bronny James into the NBA. Who's not an NBA player. Stop it. I don't care if you continue to disagree with that. He might be a role player. He might be I don't even think he's a good enough shooter to be like I was going to say somebody and I forgot his name, but I don't even think he's a good enough shooter to be like an off the bench role player. I don't think he's a good enough ball handler to be an NBA point guard or a facilitator or the nail in the coffin of this LeBron James parade the past couple of years was forcing Bronny James into the NBA and then giving him a guaranteed contract. And then he played in the G League most of the year. He got a $9 million guaranteed contract to play in the G League. That's never happened before. So, yeah, the last couple of years was a LeBron James parade, and the Lakers situation right now is the result of that. LeBron James probably retires. I don't see a way that the Lakers rebuild anything with LeBron James on the team. I don't see them trading him. I see him hanging it up. He has all the accolades. He has everything. Let the chips fall where they may. Let the haters hate. Let the lovers love. And lucky for them, they made the Luka trade so they can move forward after LeBron, which I still think is kind of maybe an NBA setup because you can't have the Lakers tank because they make the NBA too much money. But yeah, I don't think the Lakers have been. I don't think winning has been their main objective the last couple of years. Their main objective the last couple of years has been the LeBron James parade and making money off of that. And I think that's true. And I said it because I think it's true. But we'll see if LeBron retires, man. Anyone that calls LeBron the GOAT after getting booted in the first round with Luka by his side needs to be admitted to an insane asylum. That's not fair because Luka Doncic can't play defense. You can easily lose with Luka Doncic by your side because it's a 5-man game. It's a 10-man game. And the Lakers didn't have enough. 2-12 in your last 14 playoff games is pretty wild. But I'm not here to slander LeBron James. I just think that it's time for him to retire. You're 40. You have all the legacy. You have all the numbers. You have everything. You don't have anything left to prove. Just hang it up and let the kids play, man. Anthony Edwards. I said this yesterday. Anthony Edwards is the face of the league, man, and I love the way that he approaches everything. I love his competitive spirit. In an era where NBA players are paid so much money, and a lot of times you question whether they want to win or not, or whether they're just content with being millionaires and living a lavish lifestyle. Anthony Edwards is one of those guys that wants to compete and wants to win and wants to be the best over everything else, over money, over everything else. And I just love his attitude. And he took a victory lap in LA last night. I don't feel like there's enough security out here for you to just be walking the streets in LA, but you know.
My business, man. How y'all gonna be fucking with me? I just sent y'all nigga home. Tyler, hey, how they gonna do that?
They be talking shit.
Man, they been talking shit all week.
Hey, all the analysts said what they say?
Lakers in 5. And then look, when we was up 3-1, they said Lakers in 7.
Ain't they say that?
Go to hell today. Hey, Tyler, what is it? Hey, the good guy gonna die in this movie. Hey, the good guy gonna die in this movie.
He also said that I sent you home while shooting 0 for 8 from 3.